Hello, everybody. This is SketchKid Gaming, and I apologize for my inactivity and not uploading videos recently. I have a lot going on, and yeah, I apologize for that. Anyway, today this is gonna be a podcast. First podcast episode, the SketchKid podcast, episode number 1, and so. I don't know how long this is gonna be. Pardon me, I gotta put my phone on the charger real quick. And pardon the noise coming from, pardon the outside noise if there is any. But yes, this is a podcast that I would like to do on a weekly basis. And so in this podcast, I'm gonna be talking about, I guess, anything, mostly politics and stuff. So yeah. And I'll try to do this probably on Tuesdays, maybe Fridays. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Till then, enjoy this first episode. Now, one thing I would like to talk with y'all about is the whole thing with Kavanaugh, Brett Kavanaugh. Yeah, Supreme Court nominee, and everything has been going on recently on the news. This professor from some university, I forget her name, has come out and with allegations against Brett Kavanaugh, accusing him of sexual assault as well as one other. Now, initially, I thought this was BS. Why? Well, because the timing's way too perfect. I mean, it's after the hearings. I mean, not too long until the Senate votes on whether or not Kavanaugh will be the next Supreme Court justice. It's just the timing is so perfect. You know, right before the vote and all that. I don't know when the vote's going on, but I assume it's in the near future. But I assume it's soon. Right before that, smear his name. I thought it was a smear. Now, that was before I watched the Ben Shapiro show and watched his reasoning on it, and I agree with Ben 100% on it. Now he gave details, and that I didn't add up, and he really just laid it out perfectly. But in the allegations, so this professor, again, I forget her name. I apologize for that. But she sent a letter to Dianne Feinstein, Democratic senator from California. And so in that letter, this professor, she asked that her name not be addressed in public due to confidentiality. And so basically in the letter, told the Dianne Feinstein is that Brett Kavanaugh and this one other dude that he went to high school with, I forget the other dude's name as well, I apologize for that. But yeah, it really shows that this party, she doesn't give the date, she doesn't give time, she doesn't give the location. So she's at this party, I guess, and there's 4 guys there, and so she says that two guys two guys were with her in the room. They were drunk. One of them was Kavanaugh, and so one of them forced himself onto her and groped her and all that, and attempted to rape her. And she tried to scream, but he put his hand over her mouth, so that no one could hear her, and they played music really loud, so that no one can hear her as well. Now, these allegations, like Ben Shapiro Ben Shapiro said may be true, but if I were to give my personal opinion on it, excuse me, I would say this is all BS. It's not true. And right before I talk about why I don't think it's true, I'm going to talk about how Dianne Feinstein handled it. So apparently this professor, she sent that letter to Dianne Feinstein, and Dianne Feinstein has had it for weeks, months on end. And so, like Ben Shapiro said, you can make some very valid questions regarding Dianne Feinstein's, I guess you would say use. I wouldn't say that's perfect word, but just knowing that information, not making it apparent. Why didn't she bring it up during Kavanaugh's hearings? That's a good question that Ben Shapiro brought up. Why didn't she bring it up with her colleagues? Why didn't she bring it up at all? And then all of a sudden it's released. I mean, it doesn't add up. I mean, certainly, if Dianne Feinstein handled it correctly, I think she should have brought it up during Kavanaugh's hearings. She brought it up with her colleagues and all that, And she asked, and Dianne Feinstein's this really questions Kavanaugh's integrity. I'm paraphrasing, of course. Well, I mean, and she said something like that. I'm not sure what she said, but if you really wanted to get info on it, if you really want to handle it perfectly, I guess. I'm sorry, this is totally unscripted, by the way, but if you want to handle a situation like that, don't hide it and then hide it from everybody, your Senate colleagues and Kavanaugh, and not bring it up during Kavanaugh's hearing, and then hide it. Apparently, and all of a sudden bring it up. I mean, and it's sketchy to me, timing's sketchy. And alright, so now we're getting into why, exactly why I think this is, exactly why I think the professor, again, forget her name, I apologize for that in advance, but why it just questions her, it questions her allegations, and sorry, I'm not lost for, not really lost for words, but unscripted again, sorry, but those allegations, I mean, she doesn't give an exact date, she doesn't give an exact location. She's pretty damn vague about it. Excuse my language for using damn. Yeah, pretty damn vague, if you ask me. Really damn vague. And also, she brought, and apparently, this has been, since 1982? So why stay silent for over 3 decades? In 2012, I've heard that in 2012 during a session with a therapist or psychologist or something with her and her husband, she brought it up, but she said 4 men instead of 2 that attacked her. I mean, it's kind of sketchy to me. And her husband recollects that she brought up Kavanaugh in some shape or form. But, I mean, even so, in 2012, why stay silent about this for 30 years? Why? Exactly why? It doesn't add up. I mean, if this did happen, which I doubt, but again, if it did, why would you stay silent about it? Wouldn't the if something like this did happen, wouldn't your first reaction be to go to the police and try to find the people that did it and bring them to justice? Wouldn't that be like number one? Oh yeah, this happened. She says this happens when she was 15 and Brett Kavanaugh was 17 at the time. I mean, 15. I mean, even then, like, you should be able enough to, like, report something. And of course, I understand it's a great tragedy, but still, staying silent for 30 years and then coming out about it, that seems super sketchy to me. For 30 years. I mean, I don't know how you can stay silent with something like that for that long. Even so, like, bringing up 36 years later in 2018, right before Kavanaugh becomes a judge, you know, either gets approved or disapproved by the Senate, and is up to become a justice on the Supreme Court. I mean, why bring it up now? I don't know. It seems sketchy to me. Maybe. I don't know. But the fact that she gave unspecified location, unspecified time, and is really vague about it. Especially, like, she mentioned the high school that Kavanaugh went to. Well, if you're going to mention the high school that Kavanaugh went to, why not be specific? Same with the date, same with the location. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm not looking at everything correctly here, but just looking at it, it just seems like a whole lot of BS to me. It's bullcrap, if you ask me, at least. But, I don't know. So, I'm not sure if I should close this podcast out. Anyway, I gotta keep it under 15 minutes because I gotta edit iMovie and all that. And, no, you have to keep it under 15 minutes for that. But, I guess I'll be at the end of today's podcast. It's short, I know, but sweet. And sorry for any background noise. I live in the house with other people, so yeah, excuse the background noise. Anyway, this is Sketcher's Kid Gaming, signing off on today's very first podcast and first video in a while. I apologize for that. I'll try to upload more frequently than I have been recently, and I guess I'll see y'all later. Peace.